Introduction. Google was created to provide all information to the world freely through the organization of the same and being good unless otherwise. Google later launched Gmail, which was supposed to compete with Yahoo, but it was more customized and designed for its contents. The contents for the search were more improved to help users have better coordination of their emails. Gmail also had an advantage feature of anti-spam filters that was supposed to filter out the unnecessary emails from the essential ones. Google was meant to improve communication through the internet, but it was not able to be perfect, especially with the security issues, since they could only protect the incoming mails. There was also the problem with the advertisement and users not being protected by ECPA, since there is no organization that is allowed to monitor any information transferred electronically unless there is a vital reason. Google censor searches in China. Google in China was blocked by its government, and when the censorship was lifted, the Chinese could not be able to access some information, especially those that concerned the government, which were political sites and other sensitive governmental portals. Some phrases like democracy and human rights or anti-government groups were filtered out in Google that they could not even be seen in when searched in Google. The censoring of some information by the Chinese government was not well taken by the public, as they could not comprehend why there should be filtered information if Google was meant to provide all information to them as long as they searched it. The government, however, tried to reason with them that the little access they had to information was better than being blocked completely from Google advantages. The government was serious about Google usage and even laid down rules, and those who violated them were penalized following the provision of certain laws of the concerned institution. Chinese internet users were very unhappy with the Google decision to let their government censor them from some information, but in defense, the government said all those rules were there for the good of the public, that it would be better if some harmful information was not being disclosed to them. Accessing information from the internet later became very difficult for the Chinese, as they could not even access parts that were not censored. This was no longer about government sites anymore, it affected them more in terms of business, which brought to difficult grounds regarding e-commerce. The government should censor information that is sensitive or to protect its people, but there should be a limit of how much information should be censored. Government secrets are an example of details that should not be disclosed to the rest of the public, but information concerning the growth of the country and their rights should not be censored. The information requested by the government concerning the Child Online Protection Act. Google was not willing to reveal information regarding child online protection, as they felt that their right to have their information was not being respected. In their defense, they said that the activities would be time-wasting, which was a rare resource to them as well as tiresome. They also termed the request as harassment, which was unacceptable to Google and their image regarding the competition, as their major secrets were at stake. Google was never trying to protect its secrets, instead it wanted to have an upper hand about having sensitive information. The competition was there a key reason for fighting the Justice Department with regards to child online protection, since if they wanted the freedom to pass information, why did they allow the Chinese government to withhold some information from its people? The department had a right to have all that information to protect children all over the country from some information that is found on the internet. This included explicit sexual materials that would easily be accessed by everyone around the country as long they could access the internet. If material provided by Google provoked the Child's Act, then the Justice Department had a right to have all the information regardless of if Google had time or manpower to do so. The rights of the minority should be on the front line to be protected, and that's why the government came up with rules and regulations on how information should be passed around the world. Subscription fees were introduced to limit people who accessed the internet, and if those rules did not adhere to, there were penalties and massive fines. Google's print for a library program. Google was setting a marketing strategy for their site by ensuring that there was adequate information in their site, even better for free. This gave them a competitive advantage, as they knew when they start charging for the majority of their services of users would be loyal to them from their previous provision of information. The authenticity of their information was also the reason for Google Print, as they ensured that they got the best information from various institutions and libraries around the world. Google has got their revenue from a single click from their users to an advertisement found in Google search. Google was also aware of the rapid growth of Internet users around the world and the new technologies that are being invented every day that included online web games, e-learning, e-commerce, and online videos. The long-term benefits would be more than enough as advertising, which was the main source of revenue, was increasing every day around the world as both the buyers and the sellers benefit from Google. Having original and sufficient information is all that Google needed to give satisfaction to their clients around the world. Conclusion. Google has been both a blessing and curse around the world. It has brought so much improvement in terms of business, political, social, and economic development. The information superhighway has ensured that people from various parts of the world can communicate and have business transactions effectively. However, Google has also been a problem by having some sites that are not appropriate for children as far as the moral issues are concerned. Though there have been rules to regulate such situations, people are still able to access illegal materials, and even some go to the extent of committing fraud. This and many other essays are available at studycorgi.com.